Skepticism is something that we all have, and we always, think about, coincidences and stuff like that. And, this is where it gets in the realm of, conspiracy theories and stuff like that. And I don't think any of that is necessarily wrong at all. And, I have, my views or some things, that I may question, but personally, there's not a lot of like conspiracy theories that I really, really, really believe, because I always kind of see the holes in um, certain places and stuff like that. And if even if there's something that I probably can believe, I'm very skeptical of like just saying it off of the bat, because I think there's probably more information that I don't know. And I always try to humble myself and make sure that like what I'm saying is, true. And whenever I'm talking about something that I'm skeptical about, I always warn people and say, like, I don't know if this is very true, but I'm kind of feeling this. And then people can give their feedback and stuff like that, and um maybe it alleviates, that feeling, or it heightens it even more. But something, you see a lot of people do is, asking questions. And I think asking questions is amazing, and it can be very incredible, because, you can probably think of things that, you never thought before, especially getting feedback from either like a therapist or an someone that you're debating or arguing, and you get to see points of view or questioning that you never even thought before, that can possibly disprove what you think is true, or maybe enforce that belief. And something that I am seeing and I think is happening a lot online is people having a preconceived notion or belief in their head, but they ask questions in the purpose of trying to justify or find the answers that can lead to justify that preconceived notion or opinion. And that is something that I think is literally destroying people's brains. And this is something that you can ask people. And I plead you, ask this question whenever it seems like someone's going down the rabbit hole, and only ask this question unless you know your shit. But always ask someone whenever they're very strong with their belief. Ask them, what would it take for you to not believe it? Or what would it take for you to think that this happened, even though it's exactly the opposite of what you think happened? And if they pause on that, usually that means, or they can't answer it, that means that they've never even thought about it in the first place, that they could be wrong. And that is a problem, a big, 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 big problem, because you're no longer searching or asking questions for truth, but you're asking questions to justify your own preconceived beliefs. And that is bad. I've done this before, and I feel like I've done this before, and whenever you start to realize it, you start to feel the debt and all of the lies, all of the miscalculated steps that you've made, and it weighed on me. That shit weighed on me. And I think I'm starting to think of like concepts of like emotional debt or ideological debt, where, people enforce, or their life revolves around certain viewpoints or a certain narrative in their ideology, where if they don't have that narrative, they don't really have much of a purpose outside of it. And yeah, that's just a phenomenon that I'm just seeing online, and even people in my personal life. And you know something else to clarify, there's people that, have skepticism or very existential when it comes to like philosophy and ethics. And I think philosophy and ethics are mediums of of is it called mediums? Can you call it mediums? Um, those are subjects that where it doesn't seem there's a lot of objective parts about it that you can, you can prove, but there's a lot of room to argue about it. But while when it comes to science and those topics around, we do an experiment and we see if we do the experiment, if this situation or thing replicates, and it seems like this is how the world works and how, this, yeah, how this works, you know, that's something that you can't really just argue or say that is just subjective. And I think, there's a lot of nuance in science. The science isn't like my place where I argue, or I don't really think about science a whole bunch unless, you're talking about, like psychological studies and stuff like that. But in general, when it comes to, medication or health, or how animals work and trees and all this type of stuff, there's not to say that there's no room for arguing, but if you're going to challenge something in the cat, like in that field, you better know your shit. Because people have been studying and doing research for hundreds and hundreds of years to get to this point now. And it seems like there's people that have this skepticism, or they're so ideologically driven where they're like, it seems like they're just willing to just destroy everything that we have so far to like start over and I guess reassess, while it seems like a lot of the things that some people are saying or believing doesn't seem to be replicated in studies or experiments and stuff like that. And that's just something, I've been seeing a lot. And again, I don't think there's anything wrong with asking questions, or even, diving into conspiracy theories, because I think diving into conspiracy theories can really, really make you think about, it can probably really show you how ideologically bought you are to a certain line of thinking. And it can be a very, helpful tool to, balance yourself out and be self reflective. And, and yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. I don't know. I don't want to come across that I'm a person that knows like everything. I don't. I'm a fucking moron. I occasionally read books. I'm I I'm some dumbass reactor that, reacts to music, and in my spare time I think about, political, philosophical, theological stuff all the time. And this is just shit that I think about a lot from, hearing conversations, podcasts, and learning from, people that I know and all the difficult people that I know, and just observing the world in general. And this is, this conversation is open for discussion, and I don't plan on shitting on, people for believing what they believe unless they think that, their belief can just trump someone else's. While, some people may be wrong about something, but, how they got there isn't an accident. And I think it's important to see how people get to the point that they are now. And this applies to anything when it comes to, diagnosing someone with some kind of mental illness, or why someone feels so traumatic about whenever they see like a teddy bear or something, and they associate it to like a certain past whenever they get abused and they see a teddy bear there. Shit doesn't happen just on accident. There's always some kind of reason, especially when it comes to human behavior. But but the gist of what I'm trying to say is that ask questions. Make sure you're asking questions in good faith, and not not asking. Make sure you're not asking questions to try to justify your preconceived notion and belief. This is why it's important whenever you're doing studies to put in your hypothesis and what you think may happen. And then whenever you do the study, you show people what your matrix or matrix, fuck, is it matrix, not matrix, I think it is metrics, yeah, metrics. Show people your metrics and how you're measuring or how you're doing it, and then people can pre-review it and look at it and say this kind of feels very biased, or this is very well done, and stuff like that. And you get feedback, and make sure that your opinions are kind of in that type of process, because if you're in that type of process, then you're saving yourself from something that I call emotional debt, or I'm trying to think of terms to label it, and there's probably already some kind of terminology out there. If someone has or know like a word or term that it can be applied to this, but like some kind of like emotional debt, where like some people lie, some people do things that isn't right, but eventually if they start to realize what they're doing, they have this immense debt that they don't even realize that they've had because of all the lies that they said, or all the things that they may believe, but they realize isn't true. And then whenever they start to think, what they believe isn't true, then they feel this immense weight. And that's something that I've went through, and I never want to go through that ever fucking again. But I do really worry about a lot of people, in my life, and other people, because this type of thinking is not healthy at all. But yeah, I think that's all I really have to say. This is, it's room for discussion. I try to make these videos, make it where like the only people are going to see them are people that are subscribed, or I'm not like clickbaiting people to have like some dumb fucks, or either side of the political spectrum, or whatever, or assholes to come in here and ruin good dialogue or say dumb shit that isn't productive at all. But whatever you may stand, I'm free. Feel free to type it in, or if there's anything that you think I can articulate better, or if you think I'm wrong, or if you think there's another angle that I'm not looking at, please put it down in the comments, and I'm always down to read those. And if you don't feel like putting it in the comments and you feel like it's going to be a fucking essay, dude, email it. Find my email on I think it's like josiahreacts2002@gmail.com. So email me and I may respond, or I may read it. But yeah, I think that's all I really have to say. Thank you all for all the support. And yeah, that's pretty much it. See you guys later. Bye.